Hey everyone, we're going to take a quick break and talk about our sponsors for the month, AMP Agency. AMP is a full-service digital marketing agency that specializes in tour, rental, and destination marketing.
We would not have sponsors on the show if we could not vouch for them ourselves. AMP Agency does a bunch of stuff for Destiny Water Adventures personally. I 100% vouch for this guy. I've handed them over to other companies in the past before they officially became a sponsor, and they have had nothing but great things to say. If you guys are doing your own marketing and doing a piss poor job of it, do yourselves a favor. Hand yourselves over to AMP Agency, specifically Steve Edwards, their CEO, will call you personally and have a great conversation with you about what you guys need to do for your marketing.
Listen, guys, they do pretty much everything in digital marketing. Website development, maintenance, Google AdWords, PPC, graphic design, social media management, SEO, and a myriad of other things. When you choose a marketing company, it's so important to choose a company that knows your industry. And AMP Agency knows activity marketing, especially water sports and tours. They got a promo going for Awkward Watersport Guy listeners for their managed websites. Use promo code Awkward Podcast when you go to amp.agency. Again, that's amp.agency, promo code Awkward Podcast. You get 3 months free and get started with AMP Agency. All right, guys, let's get back to the show.
I like when people when they have a paddle board rental company and they're like, yeah, I'm the founder. Like, the founder of what? What did you find exactly? Look at you didn't invent paddleboards. If you invented paddleboards now, then you said you were the founder, then I'd be like. But anyway,
we will definitely headhunt you.
We have CEO of Vancouver Water Adventures, Clayton Watson, today, coming to us from his 12th level executive boardroom in Vancouver. Clayton, how the hell are you doing, man?
I am great.
Vancouver Water Adventures, right? I got that correct on the first spot?
Yeah. Vancouver Water Adventures. We get Vancouver Water Sports a lot. But,
yeah.
That was actually the first name we tried to get, and the government turned us down, said it was too broad. So we tried for Vancouver Water Adventures. They said that fits.
I'm confused. The government...
Yeah.
Can tell you what you call your business?
We got to apply for a name.
Oh.
So you can't have too generic of a name as a corporation. So I couldn't call myself Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean, that's so...
Wow.
Yeah. God, man.
I didn't know that. U.S. doesn't really require that. However, we're a very litigious country. So, I mean, they just want to open you up
we
to a
also
lawsuit,
believe in
I guess.
freedom, Craig. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. We everybody gets checks every week here. We don't actually have to work.
Don't get me fucking started, man. I love that. I am in a TikTok algorithm with for Pierre Pollet. I fucking love that guy, dude. I want him to run for president of America when he's just sitting there eating his apple, and he's just so I don't want to say arrogant, but arrogant in a way that makes him affable and lovable. I'm just oh my God, dude, that guy is the greatest, man. He just eats people's breakfast. It's so funny.
It's just how our politics go. It seems like everybody loves him at the start. By the time it's the end of their first term, the love is waning, and by the second term, it's popular to hate them again. At the very start of Trudeau, everybody loved him. He was the greatest thing. And before him, it was Stephen Harper, and it was
I remember
same thing with him. They love him at the start, they hate him at the end. It's going to happen the same.
Yeah, because Trudeau was Canada's Obama. He was so popular. And then I think probably when he started taking your guys' handguns away, because that something happened. Is that bullshit?
I don't think it was the handguns. Not enough people care about guns in Canada for that to be the big deal. I think the big deal was more just relentless. COVID. Who can make the right decision anyways? I don't envy any of those politicians. You can't make anybody happy in that job.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we come and take you guys over, you're going to wish you cared more about guns.
No, trust me. You could give us all the guns, and you still knock on the door and say, "Oh, we're going to take you over." We're like, "Here, do you want the guns? What would you like? Can we at least not be a Puerto Rico state? Can we be a real state?"
You guys are all like, "Hey, come on in and take our gun. That's fine. Would you guys like some? Would you guys like some bacon?" I love Canada.
Does this mean we get an NFL team?
NFL is like just some of the nicest like neighbors. I've actually spent a lot of time in Canada, and anytime we would go over there, and like I was in a band when I was younger, and we would play. It was just our favorite. We'd play in Toronto, and we'd play in Windsor and Ontario, and some backwoods places up there. And we just always had the best time. Everyone was always just so nice and welcoming, man. Like, so, yeah, I love our neighbors to the north.
Yeah, we're too nice.
I got married in Niagara.
You
did?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
I got a Canadian marriage certificate.
Is that even legal? Are you even technically married legally?
I guess so. I don't know.
I mean, you're legally married in Canada.
For sure.
So does that mean you could get on like the polygamy train and get you like a nice American wife too as well then? Or
maybe. That's a good question.
You can move to Utah and just do that.
Yeah, but then you can't have coffee.
Yeah.
You don't even...
Because you got to become Mormon.
No
yeah,
coffee
because Mormons
Utah?
don't. You can't drink heated. You can't have heated caffeine if you're Mormon. That is either.
Is it
What if
just
it's heated by wood fire?
I don't know. But you can have a Mountain Dew, but you can't have a coffee. Like it's either that or I'm just perpetuating a urban myth. But my therapist was a Mormon.
A fair trade-off for 7 wives.
Fuck that, man. I'll take my coffee over fucking my one wife. Get out of here.
I love my wife, and I would only pick one.
No, I'm fucking straight on all of that. 7 wives.
All right. Clayton. So this episode's about you.
Great.
So tell us about how you got into water sports and a little bit about Vancouver Water Adventures.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from the Awkward Watersports Guys and TakeMyBoatTest.com, the only Florida owner-operator boater safety test provider. At Take My Boat Test, we're more than just a test. We're your partners in safe boating and operation. As livery and boat rental professionals ourselves, we understand the importance of navigating our waters responsibly. That's why we've created a boater safety test tailored specifically for Florida's visitors and Florida operators. But that's not all. We're proud to offer the highest commissions in the industry to our partners because when you succeed, we succeed. Visit TakeMyBoatTest.com/partner-program for more information on how to join our growing network of safe boating partners or email Kevin at TakeMyBoatTest.com to learn more. Don't wait. Take the first steps toward a safer, more enjoyable boating experience in Florida today. TakeMyBoatTest.com, where Florida boaters become certified operators.
Well, I probably got into water sports or tourism the same as many owners did. I was just young, decided I'm going to work jobs that I love instead of work jobs that I am working for money. So I started off as a raft guide. I rafted all over Canada, probably worked for 10 or 15 different raft companies. I did snowmobile guiding, ATV guiding. I taught people how to ski and snowboard. I was basically just a traveling bum. I went season to season, every new place. And as I got to about 25, 26, I started thinking about having a family and what I wanted to do with my life. And I actually had this incredible chat with this one mentor raft guide that I had. He's about 60. And I go for this bike ride with him and he asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I said, I want to be just like you. When I'm 60, I just want to be rafting and traveling the world. And he said, "Don't do that, man. I'm so screwed right now. I'm 60 and all I know how to do is raft. You need to figure out something else." And so I started looking around. Who's living the life that I want to live? And the life that I wanted to live was the people I was working for. So how can I still do this and make enough money to, reasonably raise a family, live in a nice area, what's considered a normal life? So I started this company. Started with 2 jet skis. 2 broken jet skis that we bought from a guy that smashed them together. Tried to find somebody to fix them, had no money to get them fixed. Found a guy on Craigslist who would fix them if we let him use them for a few hours.
I found a guy on Craigslist if we let him, and I was like, oh no, what did you have to do to get these jet skis fixed?
Yeah. And then so lucky that all he wanted to do was ride the jet skis. But yeah, we started with 2. We were literally just posting Craigslist ads like, you want a jet ski? We have jet skis. $99. Meet you where you want. And just slowly grew that. Now we have about 70 jet skis, 100 kayaks, 100 paddle boards. We have 4 12-passenger tour boats. One coming, new fresh build, going to be done in April. We're excited about that. We're right out of the main hub in Vancouver on Granville Island. Second most visited.
How long is your season? About 7-8 days, or?
Yeah, we go from about July 31st till August 2nd every year.
Yeah, no shit. And then you ice skate the rest of the time.
Yeah. Actually, in Vancouver, we don't really get snow. Our boat tours are still operating right now. So
that's awesome, man.
Open top boat tours right now. We go from, we have 3 boats. This is the first year with the 4th one getting built. So we have never run through the winter before. This is our first year. I just had some guides that said, hey, we don't want to go back to our other jobs. Is there anything we can do? I said, let's leave the boats open. We'll keep one boat in the water, see if it fills.
There you go, man.
And it's filling
awesome.
Up. It's great.
Love it.
But typically April until early October.
Yeah, same.
The main season, the main chunk of money that comes is May long till September.
Yeah. Don't ever drill into that number too much, man. Like, if you really start looking at it, like, they talk like 80-20 principle, and then when you like break that down, and like you really start like needle movers, you know what I mean? Like when you really start looking at your metrics, and then it's scary how much, like, somebody said to me, I'm like, man, you always seem like you're in a bad mood. And I'm like mid-June to the end of July, because I really truly know that's where our money's coming in. Like, even April, May, and maybe it's different in Vancouver, but I mean, I'm assuming that you guys are like the rest of us, where like mid-June to end of July, you guys are just like fucking like,
yeah, August really is the busiest month for us. August, we typically do about 50%.
We're celebrating freedom in July in America, so that's
yeah, and like we're just always free. So
you guys are in August. You guys are.
But those are big weekends for us too. But yeah, I'm one of the only ones of my friends that are like, yes, our dollar is doing so poorly compared to the Americans. This is going to be so good for me.
Dude, we used to go over there, and I remember we would get like $1.50 in Canadian to the exchange rate was $1.50 to $1. And when you're a kid, we were going over there when we were 19, and we go to the casino in Windsor from Detroit. And so, like, we go over there with like $100 to gamble, drink, you know what I mean? And we get 150, and it'd be like, oh man, like, we're gonna fucking tear it up, man. I'm gonna drink 7 pitchers of beer and gamble with $50 at the casino. What is it now? What's the exchange rate now these days?
I think we're about $1.35.
Oh shit!
It's COVID. We were really catching up on you guys,
and then we just started printing. We just turned on the money printing machine.
Yeah,
like ran away.
We just do whatever you guys do. Everybody's complaining that we printed so much money, and it's like they did.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I would go to the gas station and buy baseball cards from the vending machines. And one thing that always would piss me off is when I would go to the grocery store next door to get some quarters. They sometimes give me Canadian quarters, and the vending machines don't accept Canadian quarters. And I'm just like, I remember walking all the way to the gas station and getting the Canadian quarters, or if like I just get change from somewhere and I get the Canadian, I'm like, listen, Canadian 25 cents is not the same. The vending machines don't take it. I was a kid, I understood this, and I always would just be so upset. So all the Canadian money. Did you have that, Kevin? All the Canadian change was always, whatever was left in my parents' drawers, like all the good stuff with, the American change taken.
What I was mad about was that minimum $5 tip at the strip club, because you're not giving them loonies and toonies on the stage in Canada, because if you're unfamiliar, in Canada, their dollars and $2 are in coin form. So when you're 19 and you're going over to Canada to drink, all right, because maybe you guys probably don't know this, whatever, if you're listening somewhere else in Florida, but 19 is the legal drinking age, and so you go over to, when you live in Detroit, you can cross the border into Windsor and go to the strip clubs and drink and do all the stuff what young men do. But I just remember we weren't sitting up at the stage for $5 a tip. You know, we'd sit back because it was inappropriate to throw change on at the strip club, at the gentleman's club. I mean, no, you did it. You just tipped with loonies and.
I wouldn't know anything about anything you're talking about.
How long have you been in business, man?
2009. So this is actually going to be year 16 for us.
Year
time
16.
is passing by.
Man.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun. New challenges every year. It gets more and more fun. I learn more and more that, you know, to be successful in a business like tourism, it's not about really how smart you are or necessarily the skills you have. It's really just how much determination do you have to make it work. I see other people start businesses here, similar businesses to me, and I think, oh man, those guys are so smart. They just got out of university. They just went to, you know, the biggest solder school of business here, and they're just going to come and crush me. And then they just realize, oh, I'm not in for 90-hour work weeks.
Yeah, I think that's true of any successful business, though. It is how it is. You're Clayton. You're definitely right about that, man. It is definitely, it's determination. Yeah, how determined you are, how focused you are, how hungry you are. But I will add, though, that I think there's an element that I think in that determination, in that 90-hour work week, if you're not educating yourself, if you're not staying ahead of the curve, then I think your growth potential starts to lose. Because when you're young and you're just getting started and fired up and you're just like imbibing yourself with everything you can, and you're trying to stay ahead of the competition, where some guys get tired and when they get old and they get gray beards, and then, you know, they stop learning, you know, and so I think those things are married together a little bit.
Are you tired of spending countless hours managing your water sport and boat rental reservations manually? Is your current system outdated or doesn't provide the necessary features that your business requires? Hi, I'm Greg Fisher, the CEO of WaveRes, an online reservation software built by operators for operators. With our system, you can offer 24/7 online booking to your customers, allowing them to book and pay for their rentals at their convenience. You can also send SMS notifications to your customers, keeping them updated on their reservation status and any changes that may occur. Custom options and dynamic pricing enable you to offer tailored packages to your customers, helping you stand out from your competitor. Plus, our system integrates with companies like Werewolf Digital Waivers and TripShock, streamlining your operations and ensuring a seamless booking experience for your customers. Our software is the best choice for water sport and boat tour operators, as it is designed to cater specifically to your needs. So why waste any more time on manual reservation management? Try WaveRes today and take your business to the next level. For a limited time, mention this ad and receive a $100 credit when you sign up. Check out waveres.com for more info or to schedule a free demo. Now let's get back to the show. Mm-hmm. Clayton, I mean, you came into our community about a year or so ago. Maybe you've been listening even prior to that, but you know, I have two questions for you. One is, you know, how much time do you put aside as an owner to educating yourself on trends in water sports, you know, different tools? And to add to that, when we were at the conference last year in Orlando, you sent me a text message after you left and said that you thought that the knowledge you gained from that conference could add another $1 million in business. Walk us through that, you know, that comment and what you actually think that is going to help you. You don't have to give like your trade secrets away.
There's no trade secrets. Overview. There's no trade secrets in this business. Yeah. Okay. Well, really, how much time do I put into research and development? Really, that's my job. You know, I'm the owner of the company. Yeah. I own it with my sister, but that's my job. I literally develop tours. I develop the products. What are we going to do next? Where do we need to go? That's probably half of the time that I put in. I'm always trying to figure out what is the newest thing, what's happening. We've tried so many things with our company that's failed. You know, we bought water bikes. You know, oh, let's put them on water bikes. This is going to be sick.
Yes, I was going to ask. I was like, please tell me you got water trikes.
And
please
these
tell me you did that.
things don't sell enough. And then, we got convinced, let's try flyboard. And for me, I was like, flyboard is amazing.
Oh, my God.
But the
water trikes, it's like, I don't know how many people we've talked to. You're like Ben Murrell, like all over again. Water trikes and flyboard.
Yeah, and just
I think every water sport operator has done that. Yeah.
I mean, flyboard is awesome. If you can do it, you should do it.
Yeah.
But as an operator, for us, we actually deal with a lot of regulations. So we're right in downtown. So you got to drive about 30 minutes on a jet ski to get anywhere that's amazing, to get out of the city. So people rent for an hour. We say, don't rent for an hour. You can, but it's not enough. Rent for longer.
Do you still offer flyboard?
No. Basically, the new regulations for Canada for flyboard, we needed a person to operate a boat to take them out. We needed a spotter on the boat, and we needed a flyboard instructor. So we needed 3 people for 1 person to go out. So just nobody was going to pay $600 an hour.
Canada, you legislate to hell. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so, in America, we just let the industry set it, just set your money on fire because even if they didn't legislate it to the level that they did, I think every operator here, he mentioned Ben Merrill was like Hydroflight world champion in 2014 and really good buddy of mine, but even he hung it up, and he was like one of the last guys and was charging like top dollar based on his name for people to come learn a backflip with them. And yeah, man, water trikes. What else is a flyboard? You pull
jet surf. I think jet surf was.
Yeah, we didn't get as far as jet surf, but you have to try, right? Because you don't want to be the company. Right now, we have an edge. We're the biggest company in Vancouver for water sports. So, kayaks, jet skis, that type of stuff, we're the biggest. So if something new comes, for me, it's almost a little scary. Like, do I want somebody else to try this and it works for them and then they get ahead of the game? Or do I want to let somebody try it and see if it works and then join it later? I want to try it. I want to be the guy who has 2 years advantage on the next guy to do it. And the first water thing, like bicycles we bought these things called it bikes, and we jumped right in. I bought 25 of those things, and I think it was like $40,000. And after a year, they were flipping. If you had a guy that was 250 and on the double, and the girl was 120 pounds beside him, if that guy pedals too hard, it just goes sideways, upside down on them. Chains in the salt water. I think we sold them for $1,000. All the bikes together for $1,000 to some guy. At the end, they were so trash. But
is there anything that you did new in the last 5 years that actually did work well?
The boats are new for us. Actually, a big thing that we just did during COVID, we kind of got forced into this. So when COVID first hit, we had 25 skis on order. And it's April, and the dealer phones me and says, hey, I know you're probably wondering what's going on. Sea-Doo just gave me an opportunity to cancel the order. I don't got to take your Sea-Doos. If you don't want to, do you want to cancel them? I said, yeah, cancel them. I don't know what's going to happen here. Nobody's allowed to travel. Nobody's allowed to go outside. What's happening? Cancel those 25. And first month, totally dead. May, totally dead. June, gangbusters. Blows up. We can't even control. We had a 40-minute lineup outside of our store before we even opened every single day. And I couldn't get any Sea-Doos and from anywhere. Dealer finally phones and says, hey, I found 5 upgrade machines in Mexico. If you want to pay for the shipping, we can get them. I'd never had upgrade machines. Get the upgrade machines, charge a little more. The upgrades are one of our best sellers now. Basically, we have 3 tiers. So we have the base GTX model that most people use. We have the GTI SE 170s as our sport model, and then we have 5 Fish Pro trophies as our luxury models. And we've really tried to move into the rule of 3. So we're using the rule of 3 with advertising. We're using the rule of 3 for options for people. So, we only have 5 Fish Pro trophies out of 70 machines, but what are we trying to do? We're trying to get people to book the sport. So,
can you explain the rule of 3, Clayton, for people that aren't familiar?
Yeah, this is actually really interesting because I don't see a lot of jet ski operators segmenting like their VXs compared to their Sparks and things like that.
Don't buy a Spark if you're listening to this. Like, I don't.
Yeah, don't buy Sparks.
I know. I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying like the segmenting. It's interesting. So continue.
Okay, so rule of 3 can apply to a lot of things. Do you have a slogan? Make it 3 words. It's the easiest thing for people to remember. Do you have a product? What do you want people to buy? We want people to rent the sport model. It's a little more money. People can go a little faster. It's a nicer machine, and it's more profitable for us. It uses just slightly more gas, and we charge $30 more an hour for it. So we've set up the rule of 3 as we have our base model. We call it base. When you go to book on our site, you'll see base, sport, luxury. You'll probably look at the luxury, but that's $200 an hour. You'll think to yourself, well, do I want the luxury? Do I want the base? Do I want the sport? So we've priced it so that the sport is a little bit closer to the base model than it is to the luxury model. So people might think, oh, the luxury model, too much money. But the sport model actually, by comparison to the luxury model, isn't that much more than the base. So I'm just going to go with the sport model. I'll have a little bit of a better time. And we noticed when we just had the sport and the base, not a lot of people did the sport model. As soon as we got the luxury model, our sport model went to about 30% of our sales from about 5%. So those luxury models don't actually rent a lot, but the way that I make money off them is that people rent the sport model to feel like they're getting a better time. And they do. It's a better machine.
And I think it's because people look to the middle product.
Yeah.
Because like they don't want the low end, they want to spend for the high end, they just want the middle one. And I see that in software. So I have a security software. We have 3 plans, and the middle plan by far is like 50% of the sales.
Yeah, because who wants the lowest available? Who wants the lowest thing that you can get? Not very many people, I don't go to a steakhouse and buy the worst steak. I'm like, I'll just get the...
Come to our market, man. If I put out high output machines, I'd be living with the rule of 3 accidents per day.
Well, we're not doing 300 RXPs. We're not renting those.
Right.
The luxury model is really okay. We got the Fish Pro trophies. It's a bigger machine. You can pull it out. There's a seat there. You can put a table out. You can have a picnic.
How many horse?
It's 170. It's just a bigger, flatter
horse.
machine. They can get the speakers with the luxury model, so they can listen to music as they go.
What's its top speed? What's it get up to?
I'd say 90. I'd say it's like 55, 60 miles an hour.
Oh, you're gonna say 90 kilometers.
Yeah, it's like 90 to 100.
At first, when you said 90, I was like, miles an hour?
No, not 90 is too fast. You don't want people to go that fast.
Yeah, no, you don't.
It's just a smoother ride. Like when I go out with my friends, I drive the Fish Pro Trophy. It is an awesome machine. It's the music pumps. It's nicer. It looks better. It glides through anything. If you hit waves with that thing, it just cuts through the waves. It's got a different hull. It feels smoother.
I like it. I think that's a great approach, man. You rarely see that.
But I found that by accident. I found that by need. I just needed machines because I was sold out a week in advance in 2020. People would come and say, "Hey, can I get a machine?" I'd say, "I can get you a machine next Thursday."
I think for any equipment, if you offer, like, let's say you offer 50 horsepower on your boats compared to 90, I'd imagine that there should be an upcharge.
I saw, Ben
nicer,
did that. Speaking of Ben Merrill, he tried doing like a luxury line, and he never saw it move. They ended up having to just drop it down into their regular. I mean, we're so highly commoditized here where I think that the market in Destin is so. If you go to usually any other market, the definitely class of boat that you're renting comes into play. I think because we're so commoditized here and we're so geographically based, where people are just want to go to certain areas. Not to say that I don't think there's not a niche here for it, but so we do 3 separate jet ski products as well. But we do free ride and then 2 separate kinds of tours. A tour that hits a certain area, then a tour that hits Crab Island. So, but I like that. I think that was really smart of you guys, man. I'm very really like, you know what I mean? But I did for a second. Like, maybe we should try that.
Where that really helps me too is, let's say we make a mistake. Okay, you're booked on a base model. Yep. We're sold out. 2 people smashed together. I'm down 2 machines. What do I do? Hey, you know what? You had to wait 45 minutes, but here's what I can do for you. I'm going to upgrade you and your girl up to the luxury model. You're going to get some music. You're going to get some more space on the machine. Go have a good time. And then those people come back, and generally the next time they come back, they're like, I don't want to not ride that machine. I'm going on the luxury again. Can I get a deal, please? Because it's so expensive.
And this also goes back to the point.
I give returning customers a deal, of course.
Well, Kevin, this goes back to the previous conversation on the last episode about customizing the booking experience. Is like, this is just like giving them the option of damage protection, trip protection, different add-on options, like if you want to book a kayak with a boat. But just another further way to personalize the experience gives them, hey, if I want a better machine, I'm willing to pay for it. You have it available to them. And I think a lot of operators that I know, they have the nicer machines, but they just give everyone the same one. They just haven't actually segmented it. But I know some people have the base models, and they have some that are nicer because the dealer just happened, to give a deal with them, but no one's doing it in their reservation software. There might be dollars left on the table. So that's a really good point. So going back to the other question about, you said that the conference can make you potentially $1 million more.
Get back to the commercial for our conference, please.
Yes. Well,
but I was just curious because I never really grilled him on like, okay, what exactly did?
Yeah, because I've been to our conferences and it's not made me an extra $1 million. I'm interested to know what the hell I missed.
So that was the first conference that I went to that really was about me learning, me going to figure out what is out there. I've always just done it from my home computer research. I normally go to trade shows where I'm trying to sell. I'm always trying to sell our product. Set your buses up with us. Come every Monday and I'll give you a deal. Bring 40 people at 9 a.m. But where I really found, like, I know you guys work with these guys too. I signed up with AMP. At the time that I sent you that text, I
fucking edit this out. God, this is supposed to be a commercial for our conference, not for Steve Edwards and AMP Agency. Golly.
But how did I meet all those people? I felt from that whole conference, I met 7 different companies that could probably do a better job than me at marketing. And I wouldn't have met them if I didn't go to that conference. I met a whole bunch of people that I talked to about different ideas. Somebody who's on your show a lot, Chris. I was tracking down people because I had ideas too, but I'm scared to do them because they cost a lot of money. I want to build a $4 million catamaran to have high-end luxury tours to compete with the 400-person boats in Vancouver, and I'm only going to have 50 to 80 people on that. And I talked to a few people that did that, and they all said, you have to do it. If you're not doing it, one person actually said to me, I'll give you 3 years. If you're telling me what you're telling me about your market, if you aren't doing that in 3 years, I'm bringing one of my boats to Vancouver. So you better do it. And those things, talking to those people, it encouraged me. It revitalized me in the industry. It gave me more energy. I came back, and not only am I, revitalizing my own business, I own other marketing companies that a few companies together own. We market together. I'm telling those businesses like, hey, I went to Arrival. It was amazing. They even told me, I can feel your energy, that you're re-energized for your company. I felt going to the water sports one specifically, I never expected that there was going to be an intense one day that I could go and meet so many different people inside my own industry that were all kind of doing the same thing as me, but all a little bit different, that I could just pick brains. And I was so surprised. At the start, I thought, I'm not telling anybody anything about my business. Like, I'm just getting information and I'm taking it home. And I found myself in these, 2 beers in conversations with these people, fully divulging like, yeah, this is what I did and it worked, and this is what I did and I didn't work, and they're telling me the same thing. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Well, you should try this, this, and this, because I just made an extra $70,000 this year from this. I didn't even understand what cancellation assurance was until I talked to Greg. I didn't end up.
Is that something you have you?
I'm implementing it right now. I actually had to go to my, my booking system and say, if I can't do this by the end of February, I'm out. Like, if you can't offer this by the end of February, I'm out. I just went, they're like, oh, water sports might not need it. I was like, I just talked to 100 people live that are all doing this. I'm telling you, you got to the end of February. So just actually 2 days ago, I had a big breakdown with them, and they basically built it out for me. And I'm sure tons of other people are going to use it. But, that was one thing I even appreciate about Greg. I sit down with you, and you were obviously trying to get me on WaveRes, but not hesitant to tell me, hey, even if you don't use WaveRes, Clay, you got to do X, Y, and Z. Like, if you're not doing this, you're just leaving money on the table. And I felt awesome about that. I felt like as if, like, even if I'm not going with this guy, he still wants me to do well. It made me feel good, because that's not necessarily the industry that I'm working with here. People are very close-minded. I'm 41. I'm an old owner. And all the other owners that I'm dealing with that are my competition are all 60s, 70s. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to say anything to anybody. They just want to crush you if they can. So I really felt that camaraderie. I made like 10 friends that I'm still talking to on Facebook, like from Arrival now. Mm-hmm. Bouncing ideas off of. I literally called Kevin. I'm like, hey, Kevin, I got all these ideas. He's like, let's just chat on the phone for 30 minutes. And he just gives me the truth. Like, you shouldn't do that, and you should do this, and don't think that's gold. And like, but this other thing is gold.
I remember what you said to me. You're like, I want to make $100 million. I was like, well, your first problem is you need to talk to somebody who's got $100 million, not me. I'm an idiot. Yeah. I've been to jail. Pick a different industry, because it's my favorite thing to say to people. Like, every day I wake up and I open up the Wall Street Journal and I have my coffee and I look at the fucking 500 richest guys and I'm like, still no water sports impresario. I don't see anybody unless like your Max, what's his name, Verde or whatever. He was like the COO for Fair Harbor and the face or whatever when they got acquired.
I wish somebody would make like the Tourism 500. We can't compete with Tex, but what's the
dude,
Tourism 500?
I'm such a bear on sometimes like water sports and like I feel like I see like those 60-year-old guys, like you see like why they're so fucking jaded though, like after at a certain point, because they're just like like they've seen so much and like it's so our industry's so litigious, and there's this like every time you turn,
it's such a copycat industry too. Everybody just copies each other, and it's like, and you're constantly fending off.
Yeah. Like I don't know what Vancouver's like.
What industry is it? What industry is it?
I mean, absolutely, but
McDonald's made a fast food burger, and everybody does.
Like, I don't like. We sat in at a county meeting, and the guy was like, "Well, like, I'm not going to get into the long and short of it." He's like, "Well, we have to answer the state. I have to answer the state, such and such in my business too." And I had to laugh. I was like, "Look, dude, if I'm out there not wearing a life jacket, I've got 3 different boats that roll up on me, 3 different agencies that are like, I have U.S. Coast Guard, I have County Sheriff, and I got Florida Fish and Wildlife that pull up on me." And I'm like, and then when I get to my docks, I got city like, please tell me more about, the different agencies that we have to answer to. Like, water sports is, it's one of the hardest businesses that I think you can get into, because like if you've ever been like chartered a boat, or like a captain charter boat, and something goes sideways, you're on the water, man. You know what I mean? You hear these stories about like guys that were trapped at sea for 72 days and he had to eat the eyeballs of dolphins to stay hydrated because he was stuck at sea and he had to get water. And I say that to highlight. Yeah, so I heard that.
I have not heard that story.
Captain school. But what I mean is like when the shit hits the fan, you have a boat go down or you have impending weather, like you're really just left to whatever you can sort of the problem solve at the moment for something that there's no book. You don't, like, every situation is different when you're on the water. And I feel like that is sort of a theme in water sports all the time. Like, how many times have you had an issue with like a jet ski or something, or like was taking on water or whatever it may be, where you had to improvise on the spot and sort of come up with a solution like right there because the customer was on the water and you're experiencing this for the first time. It's just like, it's such an industry that takes, as you said earlier, the drive, the determination, like, and sometimes when people's lives are literally at risk, like, man, yeah, you better get out there and get those fuckers back and get them back in one piece. So I don't think a lot of industries share in, like, if you're cooking hot dogs or pizza, man, you know what I mean? I think it's and don't get me wrong, every business has got a set of challenges, but man, have you ever, been on a jet ski and 35 knot winds and lightning striking around you, man? That's like scary shit, dude.
Well, how do you set yourself apart? Really, that's part of being successful in the water sports industry, is who are you as the owner? For me, I feel like all those things, when you were describing, bad stuff's happening, your boat's sinking, your jet ski's taking on water, I'm getting excited. I'm like, yes, let's go get those people. Finally, something's happening exciting. That's why we succeed, is that we love and thrive and revel in that. If you're somebody who is not thriving in desperate scenarios, or, scenarios where you need to think on your feet and be active, then this isn't the industry for you. For sure, you should probably do something more casual, like tailored suits. I don't know.
Yeah, get better ROI. Like something can really make you rich, But no,
but that is part of the ROI.
You said that.
Actually doing that stuff.
You're not. So I just talked to like a friend of ours, Jason, who owns Extreme H2O, and he said the exact same thing. He's like, man, I used to get jacked to go on rescues, and go out there and grab somebody like when the shit was hitting the fan, like. And I was the same way. You know what I mean? Like, heart attack will change that. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that answer. It's a perfect answer.
So you talked about potentially maybe doing a catamaran, but what's in store for 2024? Like, for many of us, 2023 was pretty flat. 2024, I don't know if it's going to be much better. I hope it is. I'm optimistic. But are you doing anything different in 2024 that you think is going to move the needle?
Well, for us, 2024 was the first year jet ski rentals and tours and everything was ever down in revenue since 2009. It has always grown.
You mean 2023?
2023, right? Sorry. 2023 was the first year it was ever down. Is that a trend that's going to continue right now? Who knows? There's so many macro things happening, interest rates, and are people traveling, and there's wars happening, and everybody's, scared or they're not. For us, we try to act on the premise of, hey, if shit hits the fan and everybody's screwed together. Do we want to be the ones who just played it safe and then it was a total normal year and we lost out? We're not trying to play it safe. That's why we're trying to make our business $100 million a year revenue. We're giving ourselves 10 years to get there. We're going to have to make moves to do that. We're not just going to be able to stand by and do nothing. This year's not a huge year for us. We really wanted to do that catamaran for this summer. We decided to take a step back. probably going to save that catamaran for 225. Our boat tours, our 12-passenger boat tours last year, we had 2 boats in 2022. We bought another 3rd boat in 2023. Boat tours sold out. We doubled our revenue in boat tours. Our jet skis were generally about double our boat tours in 2021 and 2022. And last year, they were $20,000 apart. Both over $1 million, $20,000 apart. Jet skis beat the boat tours by. So we're like, we got to follow the money. I want to have a fleet of 700 jet skis, but you got to follow the money. If there's not enough people that want to do that. So
why? Well, I asked you this before. Why $100 million?
I want to give generations away from me the opportunity to follow what they love. Okay, if I could choose anything that I would do right now, would I be running my business? No, I wouldn't. If I could choose to do anything I wanted, from a very young age, I wouldn't have done this. I would have followed sports. I would have done a whole bunch of stuff. I'd be traveling the world. I wouldn't be working. But at least I found a niche that I enjoy. I really love this, but it wouldn't be my absolute number one choice. I want to be able to tell my kids and my grandkids and their grandkids, hey, you don't have to do things to pay the rent. You have to do things to follow love. Be happy. Do what you want to do. Do what you love to do. Don't worry about, I need to get a job to, pay my rent. Your rent is paid. You need to be the best clarinet player you can be because you love playing the clarinet and you're going to hustle on that. Or
you don't need $100 million to do that, though. You just got to be
but I'm going to have a lot of grandkids. I'm going to have so many grandkids. And I also want to do whatever I want, too.
What about bottom line aspirations? So, you're going to make $100 million, but you're in water sports, so you're only going to get $1 million.
I would say I'm already above my bottom line, which is great. I didn't even suspect 15 years ago that my business would be what it is now. I thought, one day we'll have 15 jet skis and we'll be able to run 2 tours at one time. It'll be amazing. But I just want to offer, I didn't grow up well off, and I had to work from the time I was 10 years old. And I didn't get to play a lot of sports. I had to work. And I didn't get to play, the expensive sports like hockey because they cost too much. I got to play basketball because I already had shoes. And I want to offer, I don't know, maybe I'm just going to make a whole bunch of spoiled little brats.
I do think that the number is more of just a milestone. Like, can you do it? Because when I first started my company,
it's part of the game too.
I wanted to have $1 million in wealth. That was my first goal when I started out. And it wasn't about do I need $1 million? It was can I do it? Can I do it? And then I continued to create more goals. And I think people that are multi-billionaires, what are they going to do? What's the difference between 40 billion and 39 billion? I mean, it's but I think for those folks, it's can I get to 50 billion? Can I get to 100 billion? It's more of
it's going to be pretty boring
chase.
Not to try.
It's a chase.
I could just chill right now.
Yeah.
I could chill and be fine. I could just be like, hey, let's not expand anymore. Let's play it safe. We're just going to be fine. We live in Vancouver, one of the beautiful cities of the world. We'll do great. But that's not going to be too fun. I love part of the business for me is also the game of business. I see other people doing well. Can I play that? I
can tell. I know when you were in Orlando, you were just moving around, talking to people. I felt like it was I don't know. It was just fun for you.
Yeah, I had a blast. I tell anybody, you should, if you haven't gone to Arrival and the water sports conference, you better do it. If you want to be pumped for your business, you better do it. I almost felt way back in the day, there was Amway, and you'd go, my parents were in Amway when I was a little kid. They get down, they go away for a weekend, they come back and be like, we're going to sell so much soap. It's going to be amazing. But we have awesome companies, and you can come back from those, it's like a conference, but it's almost like a retreat. It's you can come back from that retreat jacked for your own business again.
So
rock.
like, but how? So like, because I don't want to sound like nihilistic or anything, but I mean, congratulations, like that. You feel that way about water sports. 16 years, and I haven't been in business that long. I've been in the game that long. I worked 10 of those years for somebody else. But what is it that like? What is your game winning? When do you like? What is your game winning 3-point at the buzzer? When are you like? What is it that on whether it be like once a year or like what is your big moment then? Like when are you like fuck yeah? You know what I mean? Like we did it. You know what I mean? Because you have 70 jet skis, so it's not adding. I don't think it's adding 10 more jet skis. So what?
No,
where do you get that?
I'll definitely feel like that when I get the cat. When we get the catamaran, that's a big move for me. That's scary, you know. That's like the revenue of my company on a year I'm going to drop on one thing. It's scary. You don't want to do that and it doesn't work. But I think I'll feel pretty good when we do that. But it's not the end. I hope.
They call it burning the boats, man. You know what I mean? When you say that, when you say like, oh, we're going to take one calendar year of revenue and make this move, it's like burning the boats. Brad Lea talks about it, and it's literally you have no out. You have no way like to out. You have to succeed. You have to figure it out. Yeah.
That's one reason that I believe that we've done well with our company is I didn't have another option. I couldn't phone my dad and be like, Dad, I'm $1,000 short on rent. Mom, I'm $1,000 short on rent or whatever. I couldn't. I remember I phoned my grandma once. I was like, Grandma, I have no money to eat. Like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, I'll put some money in your account. And I was like, sweet. And like $50 came into my account. And I was like, yes, that is like 60 boxes of macaroni and cheese. I'm so set. But you know, it's just, it's a scary thing. You gotta be willing to take the risk to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
I tried to phone my grandma for $50 and I couldn't because she was fucking dead.
Well, way to bring it to that level, Kev.
Well, on that note, Will Clayton, we appreciate you coming on the show. You're a great resource to our community. And
I love your passion, man. I love how excited you are. You're making me excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned you've taught you. I mean, the whole thing about the jet ski segmentation was very interesting. I think that's like my big takeaway from this is to, if you have equipment that it can be segmented, if it's luxury versus not, then that's an opportunity to generate more revenue. And I also like it from the customer service standpoint, is if there's an issue, you can upgrade people, makes them feel warm and fuzzy and all that.
My big takeaway is that you're a fucking nut, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man. No, it's great because I think the best of us. I think the best of us are. I think everybody in this group's a nut. So we really appreciate you coming on, and we appreciate you being a part of the group and sharing your story with us, man. And I have no doubt that you're gonna hit all of your goals and dreams, man. I love your passion, man.
Yeah. Thanks to you guys for having me, and thanks for just hosting this podcast. I have been listening for about a year or so, and I think just some random person I met in some other group was like, "Have you ever heard of the Awkward Watersports Guys?" I was like, "No," and they're like, "Oh."
He's like, "I'm going to pass on those. That doesn't sound right."
Yeah, I even thought that, and so I'm like, "Yeah, that just really sounds like success to me." But then I started listening and I was like, oh, I'm getting actually lots of great info from this. And then you guys basically convinced me to go to Arrival.
Well, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Great.
Hey, how can people reach you if they want to wax with you?
If they want to wax with me, well, if you'd have to come in the winter. I do ski and snowboard, so
how can they email you? How can they email you, you fucking knucklehead?
Oh, email! I'm sorry, I've never.
Yeah, people want to contact you, learn more about you, come see your business. How can they contact you?
Yeah. I mean, VancouverWaterVentures.com is our business. You can check us out. I'm obviously always available. Love to chat about water sports. You can email me on my straight personal email, just Clayton at Vancouver Water Adventures. You can get me pretty easily there.
Boom. Love it, man.
All right.
I love it. And then next time we're in the north, man, I'm going to come hunt you down.
Yeah, we'll take the luxury skis out.
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. All right.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. And as always, keep it awkward.